Hello, everyone, and welcome to rounds 2 and 3 of this 2014 NFL mock draft simulation. If you have yet to watch round 1, make sure you watch that before watching this round. It's fun to listen and to listen on as if you were listening to the NFL draft, which is coming up this Thursday. And from this point on, we are in play. The NFL draft rounds 2 and 3 have begun. And Chase, what are you expecting to happen in these rounds 2 and 3?
I expect a lot of teams to hopefully redeem what they did in round 1 that happened yesterday. And I also expect a lot of these teams to fill in positions of needs that they didn't be able to do in the first round and maybe get their franchise quarterbacks or maybe get their number 2 wide receivers or maybe get their outside linebackers. That's what I expect from these teams right here.
Yeah, I was expecting one less quarterback to go in the first round. I liked about 3 quarterbacks to go in the first round, but actually 5 ended up going in the first round. But some teams like Houston at the top waited to get their quarterback. I think we all expect a quarterback to go with the first pick in the second round. It'll be interesting to see who that will be because it's going to be the guy in Houston. There's no other guy there in Houston, Ryan Fitzpatrick, and also the idiot, I can't remember who's the guy who they were in love with from University of Houston a couple years ago. The name is losing me now.
Case Keenum?
Case Keenum.
Or
also,
Keenum?
So they have those two there. No, they need to get a quarterback. Let's see if they get their quarterback here with the 33rd overall pick. They are now on the clock. Again, prospects that I like coming into this rounds 2 and 3. Timmy Jernigan, defensive tackle out of Florida State. I felt he dominated throughout the entire season last year. It'll be interesting to see where he goes. Ryan Shazier, outside linebacker at Ohio State. 4-3 scheme hurts him a little bit. Teams are reluctant to take outside linebackers in a 4-3 scheme in the first round, so he fell to the second round. Here he is waiting for a team to pick him up. It'll be interesting to see where he goes in this round. Xavier Suafilo, guard out of UCLA. I think he's the best guard in this class by far. I think he could be a mainstay at guard for the next couple of years, and I can't wait to see where he goes in this round. So there are some guys to watch out for as we enter round 2, and I think, yep, here comes the commissioner with the first pick of the second round, 33rd pick overall.
All right, so who's ready for the second round?
What?
You're all too kind. With the 33rd overall pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the Houston Texans select A.J. McCarron, quarterback, Alabama.
Well, A.J. McCarron, and as I said, the Texans were going to be looking for their franchise quarterback. They said, no, we're going to wait, and you got their guy, A.J. McCarron. And I'm not really a big fan of this pick. I'm not a big fan of A.J. McCarron. But thought he should have went to the third round of the earliest fourth round for me if I was drafting. And this is a guy, honestly, he's going to go to Houston. As I said, with Ryan Fitzpatrick and Case Keenum. And you're telling me in training camp, he's going to outthrow Ryan Fitzpatrick and Case Keenum? To outside viewers, everyone's going to be shocked at how behind A.J. McCarron will be from Ryan Fitzpatrick and Case Keenum at this point in his career. Not a big fan of this pick. Chase, what do you think?
I think that it's just a Bill O'Brien pick. He likes A.J. McCarron out of all the other quarterbacks. Obviously, I thought Jimmy Garoppolo, as David was talking about, David was really high on Garoppolo. I'm also high on the Garoppolo kid. I really like him, but I really just feel like this is a Bill O'Brien pick saying, hey, I know this kid really well. Let me just draft him. Not a huge fan of it, but I can see what the Texans are thinking when they come down to picking A.J. McCarron.
Yeah, I mean, I can kind of see it, but Bill O'Brien, that's what he likes to do, prototypical pocket passers. He'll get one here. Let's see what happens with the Washington Redskins with the 34th pick overall.
Redskins have locked in their pick. With the 34th selection in the 2014 NFL Draft, the Washington Redskins select Jimmy Ward, safety, Northern Illinois.
Hey, it fills the need that they had. I mean, their wide receiver positions got filled with the sign to Deshaun Jackson. I didn't know what the Redskins were going to do with the second round pick over here. I felt they did a really good job with the second round pick.
Yeah, they needed a safety. Yeah, they signed Ryan Clark, but I don't have any trust in that guy or Brandon Merriweather. Get you a good safety. They got themselves a good safety that they can plug into this Redskins defense. Not a bad pick. Not a great pick, but a good pick at that. Rebuild the Redskins defense because your offense is pretty much good to go. Offensive line still has some questions, but no one here of value that you're looking for. And we're going to keep rolling. Here comes the commissioner with the 35th pick for the Cleveland Browns.
The Browns have made their selection. With the 35th overall pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select LaMarcus Joyner, cornerback, Florida State.
I like me some LaMarcus Joyner. I don't know if he should be drafted this high, but I do like me some LaMarcus Joyner, and I think that he's going to be a solid corner to line to have alongside Joe Hayden. I mean, they obviously need to boost up their secondary after losing to safety T.J. Ward. I would have imagined them to draft a safety in this position, but hey, you know what? Cleveland's been doing crazy things this draft so far.
Yeah, they have been doing crazy stuff, and the crazy stuff continues. But again, they needed a corner. They got their corner. See, the thing is, at least with Cleveland, they have their first 3 picks correct. They needed a running back, cornerback, wide receiver. Now, is it the ones I would have taken? No. But they got their needs, and they know at least what they need. Let's see if the needs match up with how well they're going to be next year. Questionable as if that's going to be true, but LaMarcus Joyner, cornerback out of Florida State, I liked him in the 40s, 35, a little too high. Browns keep reaching, but still fits a need. If he's good enough, then we're going to look back saying, okay, they got a good pick. So that's the thing. Will he be good enough? I don't know. We will see. So, Chase, as the Raiders make their pick, who is the number one guy on your board right now?
The number one guy on my board would have to probably be Timmy Jerrigan. I think that Timmy Jerrigan is still falling for whatever reason it may be. I don't know what's going on with Timmy Jerrigan. Maybe the tape that happened in the national championship game where we saw him completely gassed and tired. Maybe that's what's hurting Jernigan's chances of going a lot higher in this draft. So maybe Timmy Jernigan right now is my number one guy that I'm surprised is not getting taken yet.
Yep, absolutely. And here comes the commissioner with the 36th overall pick.
With the 36th overall pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the Oakland Raiders select Cody Lattimore, wide receiver, Indiana.
I'm not against this pick. You know, the Raiders, they do have defensive linemen, so getting a Jernigan here, not going to really change them, but they do need wide receivers for their new quarterback, Johnny Football. Like I said earlier in the draft, I don't think Johnny Football is a perfect fit for this Raiders team whatsoever, but at least they're trying to build around him, and I can appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big Latimer fan. I mean, you still have Jordan Matthews and Kelvin Benjamin, who I would have liked to have gotten over a Cody Latimer, but still pretty good pick. Also, Allen Robinson. Let's not forget Allen Robinson, but good pick. You got Johnny Manziel. Let's get him a weapon, too. So now he has James Jones out there. He has Denarius Moore. He has Cody Latimer. Let him run around. Let him throw to these idiots, and let's see what they can do down in Oakland. It's going to be interesting to watch, and we're going to keep on rolling. Here comes the commissioner with a 37th overall pick.
With the 37th overall pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons select Timmy Jernigan, defensive tackle, Florida State.
Hey, Jernigan's finally off the board. I like this pick for the Atlanta Falcons. They do need help defensively, especially with the defensive tackle position. I feel this is a nice pickup with them. Line them up with Babineau. I really think this is a nice little pickup for them. I think the Atlanta Falcons right now could be going in as easy winners of this draft so far. From what I've seen with the Greg Robinson pick and now the Jernigan pick, the Atlanta Falcons seem to know what they're doing.
Yep, got your offensive player you were looking for in the first round. Now you got your defensive stud in the second round. Great draft so far by the Atlanta Falcons. I've been saying about Timmy Jernigan, big stud on the Florida State defensive line, and he will carry that over to the NFL. That will still be there in the NFL, and he will bring that to that Atlanta Falcons defense. And boy, do they need some pieces on that defense, and what a need they filled here with Timmy Jernigan, defensive tackle out of Florida State. Here come the Buccaneers. Any needs you think the Buccaneers are going to fill with this upcoming pick?
Well, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they definitely need to also find a quarterback, maybe another corner to help them out with Altron Werner signing. I don't know. I'm definitely interested to see what the Buccaneers are. They've had an interesting draft, to say the least, so far. with taking Odell Beckham.
Yep, absolutely. And here comes the commissioner with 38th overall pick.
With the 38th overall pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Jay Samaro, tight end, Texas Tech.
This was a need, a small need, but a need nonetheless for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Amaro's a great young talent. I like it. I personally would have gone with the Safari and Jenkins here, but hey, that's just me. Good pickup up Jason Amaro here by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah, they need a tight end, got a tight end. I guess this shows, hey, maybe Lovie Smith does have some sort of faith in Mike Glennon because they're ignoring their need at quarterback, or maybe Josh McCown is who he really has faith in. So that's interesting because I thought coming in the Buccaneers were going to target a quarterback, but no. First round, they got Odell Beckham Jr. Now they have Jason Morrow building up receivers and weapons for whether it be Josh McCown or Mike Glennon this upcoming season. Interesting. I wasn't expecting exactly that, but this is what we have gotten. And here comes the commissioner with the 39th overall pick.
With the 39th overall pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Jimmy Garoppolo, quarterback, Eastern Illinois.
I knew Garoppolo was going to go to somewhere in Jacksonville right now, getting a Khalil Mack and a Jimmy Garoppolo, both small school kids. Really liking what the Jacksonville Jaguars are doing so far for the talent that they're finding. Look, they need a quarterback really bad at Jacksonville. Garoppolo, I don't know if he's the guy, but they believe he's the guy, so we'll have to wait and see with this one.
Well, yeah, like you said, it's a wait and see situation, and wait and see we will most definitely do. Interesting, to say the least. Jimmy Garoppolo, I'm not a big fan of Jimmy Garoppolo. Personally, he came from a small school. He has that quick release, which is nice to see, but still, I'm not sold on Jimmy Garoppolo, especially when you still have Chad Henne starting, who should not be starting in the NFL still today. It is unbelievable to me that still to this day, Chad Henne is starting in the NFL, and I think he may start another year, because I don't know if Jimmy Garoppolo is ready to come in week one, start for your team. I'm not sure if he's there yet. He's going to need some coaching up, and he's going to get that coaching up at the next level. Jaguars wanted their quarterback, got their quarterback, and there he is, Jimmy Garoppolo, Eastern Illinois. Here comes the commissioner with the 40th overall pick, Minnesota Vikings.
With the 40th overall pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the Minnesota Vikings select Ryan Shazier, linebacker, Ohio State.
Outside linebacker Ryan Shazier, he likes to get to the quarterback, and what better way to replace Jared Allen than with this guy right here. I thought they might go with a different talent here, but I'm not mad about this pick. I think this was a smart pick by the Minnesota Vikings. They realized, hey, we have no one to get after the quarterback now on this team. Let's try to find someone to hopefully replace Jared Allen. It's going to be a tough time replacing a guy of the stature of a Jared Allen, but I felt the Minnesota Vikings did a solid job here.
Yeah, a very good job, I think. I mean, they needed an outside linebacker, strong side linebacker. Got one here. Fits their 4-3 scheme that Mike Zimmer wants to run for now. Could change to a 3-4 in the future, but for now it's a 4-3. Fits that scheme. I had a first-round grade on him. Can't believe he fell this far, but fall this far he did indeed. And that's a very interesting pick. Good pick. Yeah, like Ryan Shazier a lot, had a first-round grade on him, and here he goes to Minnesota. Good fit for them. Got their franchise quarterback, now building up their defense under Mike Zimmer. That will be very interesting to see. Oh, and look who's coming, the commissioner with the 41st overall pick. Wow, I can't wait to see what this one's going to be.
With the 41st overall pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the Buffalo Bills select DeMarcus Lawrence, outside linebacker, Boise State.
I think the Bills did a good job here. They're trying to build up that nasty defense that they have down there in Buffalo. DeMarcus Lawrence, I feel, fits the scheme, can play defensive end or outside linebacker no matter what you want to do. Bills like to run this weird hybrid defense. I feel he's a nice little fit for Buffalo. I really do like this pickup right here.
Yeah, and so do I. And Buffalo, they need some more edge rushers as they move into a 4-3 defense, excuse me. They need some more edge rushers, so I'm not a big fan of, by the way, but hey, that's what Jim Schwartz wanted to bring to Buffalo, and that's what's going to happen. So, again, good pick. Like the pick. Let's see what's going to happen next year with Buffalo now that they have DeMarcus Lawrence out of Boise State. He's going to keep that blue on in Buffalo. Tennessee Titans now on the clock. What do you think the Tennessee Titans are going to do with this upcoming pick?
Well, they have a bunch of upcoming picks here. I can see them either filling the position of need that they really want in running back, or I can see them going after maybe some more depth in the defensive department, mainly the outside linebacker or defensive end style. We'll have to wait and see, but they have an abundance of picks thanks to the Pittsburgh Steelers, I should say.
Yep, and here comes the commissioner to announce the Titans pick.
With the 42nd overall pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the Tennessee Titans select Trey Mason, running back, Auburn.
This is a nice little pickup. Trey Mason is a tough little runner, and this is why he's the first little running back taking on this draft. I mean, let's face it, the running back position is very devalued as of late, but Trey Mason, along with Sean Green, I really think Tennessee has a nice little 1-2 punch there.
Yeah, absolutely. Some might have thought, hey, they're going to go Carlos Hyde here, running back out of Ohio State. Not sure how great of a fit he is for Tennessee, but I'm definitely sure that Trey Mason, great fit here for Tennessee. Not much value here, but hey, if you want this running back, if you say, hey, this is our running back, take your running back, this is their running back, and he will continue to be their running back for the next decade. I mean, hey, let's not sugarcoat it. This guy broke all kinds of SEC rushing records this season consistently. And some may say, hey, he ran behind Greg Robinson, and that's a big reason for his production, and that's why we shouldn't trust this guy. No, I'm not buying into any of that. I like Trey Mason. They like Trey Mason. Welcome to Tennessee, Trey Mason. And here comes the commissioner to announce the New York Giants pick.
With the 43rd overall pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the New York Football Giants select Xavier Su'a-Filo, guard, UCLA.
The Giants always look to try to improve their offensive line. I like this pick. I felt Xavier Su'a-Filo is the best pure guard in this draft. And, hey, you know what? Maybe if this was last year's draft, he would be making a bunch of money being selected in the first round. But this is this year's draft. Guards are not as highly touted this year, but I feel like they did a good job taking Xavier in this round.
Yeah, and last year their offensive line, it was awful. It was absolutely awful, except for the first round rookie Justin Pugh. So who knows if they didn't get Justin Pugh, and yes, I like to say Pugh, if they didn't get Justin Pugh, how bad their offensive line would have been last year. So they have Justin Pugh as a piece. Now you get another piece here in Xavier Su'a-Filo, who I had a first round grade on. You get him in the second round because not many teams need a guard, and you're happy. And you're praising God, and you're going to church tomorrow because you're just so proud of it. And that's what they're doing. That's what they will do. Great pick here of Xavier Su'a-Filo. Surprised that the Giants are actually drafting well. Something I rarely see them do. But hey, they go to the Super Bowl somehow. They continue to go to the Super Bowl somehow. They will go to the Super Bowl somehow. And who knows? Maybe if Eli Manning can start playing well, they could compete for the NFC East this year. And here comes the commissioner to announce the 44th pick in this draft.
With the 44th overall selection in the 2014 NFL Draft, the St. Louis Rams select Morgan Moses, offensive tackle, Virginia.
The Rams need to improve that tackle position. They don't know the future of Jake Long. I like Morgan Moses. He has a very interesting name in Morgan Moses. I think he can do well at the tackle position. Not in love with the pick, but hey, with the tackles that are left in this draft, the Rams had no other choice. Let's just get an offensive tackle. They have a bunch of other second-round picks to spurn, thanks to the Carolina Panthers and the third-round pick. So, hey, you know what? They're doing the best what they can do with the picks that they have.
Well, hey, we've been saying, okay, if you're St. Louis, you need to keep Sam Bradford healthy, and that's what you need to worry about. Well, hey, why don't we get Moses? I mean, why don't we get Moses? He was so good 2,000 years ago. Why can't he be good now? And that's what they're doing. Hopefully this guy can lead you to water and move water and all the stuff he did for you that he did back then. They're going to need that at St. Louis to keep Sam Bradford healthy, though. But all jokes aside, good pick. I had a first-round grade on him out of Virginia, and I thought he was going to go before Cyrus Kouandjio. who went at the end of the first round, but no, they decided to go with Silas Quandro there, and here comes Morgan Moses falling all the way down to St. Louis, need a right tackle. Jake Long, left tackle last season, and hell, he wasn't a good left tackle at all, so maybe Morgan Moses ends up playing the left tackle position next season, so who knows, but good pick here, nearing great pick here for the St. Louis Rams, getting a first-round guy in the 40s. I mean, you always want to do that, and they do that here. So let's see what happens with this upcoming pick as the Detroit Lions come on the clock.
With the 45th overall selection in the 2014 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Gabe Jackson, offensive guard, Mississippi State.
Well, Gabe Jackson, Mississippi State. The Lions looking for a guard. They had a very great pick last year, and Larry Warford, absolute stud he ended up being for the Detroit Lions. And let's keep building the offensive line, says a new head coach. And I'm already forgetting his name. Jim Caldwell. Sorry for that, Jim Caldwell, new head coach Jim Caldwell in Detroit, saying, hey, let's keep building our offensive team. They got Anthony Barr, who I was a little questionable of. I wasn't sure about his fit as the Detroit Lions, but hey, you get Gabe Jackson here continuing to build that offensive line. The offensive line should be fully set this season because there's no way you could have went into this season with Rob Sims or Rodney Hudson as your starting guard. You couldn't have done it. You just couldn't have done it. So here comes Gabe Jackson, Mississippi State. Let's see what he can do here in Detroit.
Yeah, no, I agree. Gabe Jackson is someone that they need to fill in the interior. And not only that, Gabe Jackson is someone that can open up the running lanes, and they need running backs. They need the running lanes for Reggie Bush. I really think this is a nice pickup.
Yep, absolutely. And here comes the commissioner to announce the 46th pick of the Tennessee Titans.
With the 46th overall pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the Tennessee Titans select Stephon Tuitt, defensive end, Notre Dame.
I feel this is a good pick here by the Tennessee Titans. Recently, they said that they will be moving Derek Morgan to outside linebacker. And from that moment forward, I've had trouble seeing them taking an outside linebacker. And I've been looking more for the defensive end because if Derek Morgan is moving to outside linebacker, if Cameron Wimbley's moving to outside linebacker, well, where are your defensive ends? There are no defensive ends. Worry about your defensive ends. They do it here with Stephon Tuitt. He can start opposite side of Derek Morgan whenever he's playing defensive end, opposite side of Rapati Patoa whenever he's playing defensive end. Movable piece. He can play inside from time to time. Good pick here by the Tennessee Titans. Sure, he has some injury concerns, and that's why he fell all the way here to 46. But it's a good pick. You can be a little patient. You don't need him to come in and start immediately. So overall, good pick here by the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, Stephon Tuitt, I like what he can do because he can play defensive end, but if you need him to, he can play a 3-technique defensive tackle, and that's what you need. Someone that can fill in that 3-technique. I feel the 3-technique position is sometimes an underrated position in football. He can definitely stop the run, and he can definitely get after the quarterback. Really like this move by the Tennessee Titans and Stephon Tuitt.
Yep, absolutely. And here comes the commissioner to announce the 47th overall pick.
With the 47th overall pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens select Allen Robinson, wide receiver, Penn State.
What a move for the Baltimore Ravens. They need more wide receivers. Torrey Smith did not come on like they needed to. They found a nice little wide receiver. I forgot his name, but you know who I'm talking about. What was that kid's name? The undrafted wide receiver that they got.
The Ravens?
Yeah, the Ravens. Who last year?
Marlon Brown.
Marlon Brown. There we go. Marlon Brown turned off for them, but hey, they need some wide receiver help. There's no question about it. Like I said, Torrey Smith disappointed them. Jacoby Jones did not really have that great of a run. In all honesty, I like this pick here. Adds more depth to the wide receiver position, adds more competition, adds more hunger. I can't wait to see what else they do later on this draft. But so far, really liking this Allen Robinson pickup.
I'm sure they would have liked to have gotten a safety here. No safeties of value after LaMarcus Joyner taking a couple picks before. So they'll be happy. Okay, we'll take our wide receiver, let him learn behind Steve Smith. Torrey Smith, on the other hand, has not turned into the complete wide receiver we hoped he would become. So come on, let's hedge our bets, get some more wide receivers, get Joe Flacco some more help. We got Taylor Lewan in the first round. Now we got Allen Robinson building the Ravens offense indeed. So there's that. And here comes the commissioner to announce the 48th overall pick.
The Dallas Cowboys select Scott Crichton, defensive end, Oregon State.
Scott Crichton, someone that I like a lot. The Dallas Cowboys, I swear, Jerry Jones got inducted by aliens here today, James, because they're making too much sense with these picks. I like this pick. I can't say anything more about it. Cowboys defensive line looking a lot better now.
And it needs to. Again, lost Jason Hatcher and DeMarcus Ware, their biggest playmakers on your defensive line last year. You need to replace them, and replace them they do here with this pick. Great pick by the Dallas Cowboys. It fits their 4-3 scheme. They want to play with Monty Kiffin. Again, can't believe Monty Kiffin's still there. He was demoted, and okay, that's fine, but he's still there. Get him out of there. So, again, Scott Crichton, Oregon State, they need to produce. He needs to produce, and so does Aaron Donald need to produce, and I'm sure they will produce. Have they already gotten other players? I'm not sure. They got the right guys, and that's what you want to see. Great job here by the Dallas Cowboys. Here comes the commissioner to announce the 49th overall pick.
With the 49th overall pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the New York Football Jets select Deion Buchanan, safety, Washington State.
I like this pick. I mean, it's not a standout pick. I feel it's like a reach for the safety position. I thought maybe you could have gone with a better player here, but not a bad pickup.
Yeah, not a bad pickup at all. I like him here. A safety here for the Jets. They need some more help in that secondary. They signed Ed Reed as a latch-dipped, terrible effort. Not good enough. Just a terrible decision there by the Jets front office. Okay, now let's get a young guy here that can play well in the defensive backfield for the New York Jets. Help along a young D. Milliner who's also coming along. I also thought they kind of needed a corner or a safety. They got their safety. Maybe they also addressed their corner later on in this very draft. But they got their safety now. Let's fix up the defense a little bit. Jets have a little more needs than you would like, so they have to fix some of those needs in this draft, and they're fixing it nicely so far up to this point. And here comes the commissioner to announce the 50th overall pick.
With the 50th overall pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the Miami Dolphins select Carlos Hyde, running back, Ohio State.
I like this pickup out of Miami Dolphins. They need a new running back at that position, and boy, they got that running back in Carlos Hyde. Look, Lamar Miller and DT Daniel Thomas was not doing a good job for them. So let's get a big old power back, an aggressive running back, someone to wind and pound down on that clock when you need it the most to keep leads in football games. Great move by the Miami Dolphins here. And Carlos Hyde, not my favorite running back in this draft class, but for a team like the Miami Dolphins, with the young pieces they have, I really do like this pickup.
Yeah, and they have a big need at running back, and went down last season. I mean, his offensive line was terrible, but still, they need to upgrade the running back position, and they do. With this very pick, all of a sudden, boom, your running back core is upgraded with a guy that a lot of people believe to be the best running back in this class. I believe it's personally Trey Mason. Some believe it's Carlos Hyde. It's a good value here for Carlos Hyde, so they'll take it. They'll go home happy. And here comes the commissioner to announce the 51st overall pick held by the Chicago Bears.
With the 51st overall pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the Chicago Bears select Kareem Martin, defensive end, North Carolina.
I think the Bears, they just went simple here. They said, Kareem Martin's a big dude. He fits our scheme. Let's add him. I mean, this is like their, 8th defensive end this offseason that they have? I mean, it's a little bit too much, but hey, maybe Kareem Martin's there for run stoppage. I don't know yet. I don't know if I'm really in love with this move by the Bears, but I think that they just looked at Kareem Martin as a big, athletic guy that could possibly maybe even move into defensive tackle for them. I think that's what they were kind of looking at here.
Yeah, I need a movable piece after losing Julius Peppers in free agency. So you got a movable piece here. And, like I said, where they worked on their front four in the free agency, work on a little bit more. Why not? Their defense was awful. Their offense is pretty much good to go. Your defense was awful. Let's fix that defense and fix that defense they are doing. Got Clinton Dix. That's no joke. Clinton Dix in the first round. Liked that pick. Got Kareem Martin here. Liked this pick. Young guys to learn off some veterans off this team you got in free agency. Mark Trestman building a good team, and also the GM of the Bears building a very good team, I might add. Can't wait to see what the Bears can do. I think they're going to challenge the Packers this season up to the brim. Let's see what happens with this upcoming 52nd pick.
With the 52nd overall pick of the 2014 NFL Draft, the Arizona Cardinals select Jawan James, offensive tackle, Tennessee.
Hey, look at what they're doing here, the Arizona Cardinals. They get their quarterback early on, the future quarterback, but not only that, they're keeping their old quarterback and their future quarterback standing upright. I like this move by the Arizona Cardinals. I thought they did a good job getting Jawan James. I mean, I feel his teammate, Anthony Johnson James, is a lot better, but hey, you know what? Get the tackle to keep your quarterbacks upright. That's fine. And based up positioning need.
I like this pick. You asked me 5 months ago, will Jawan James go before Antonio Richardson? I say absolutely not, but he's the flavor of the month. Everyone's loving them some Jawan James right now, and as they show, could. He's a good piece. I don't think he should go before the mid-third round. But here he is, second round. Here he goes. Cardinals need a tackle, need an offensive lineman, get an offensive lineman. So it's a good pick. But hell, I would like for them to get Antonio Richardson over Jawan James because I'm still in the Richardson over James category.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
Same here. I feel Richardson. I don't know why I keep messing up my names today, but Antonio Richardson is someone that I feel is a lot better than Jawan James. And if you're going to take a tackle, I mean, Richardson, the question is if he could play left tackle in the league, well, you just move him to right tackle then. Well, so I don't know.
Yep. And here comes the commissioner to announce the 53rd overall pick.
With the 53rd overall pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the Denver Broncos select Chris Borland, inside linebacker, Wisconsin.
Oh, this was a solid pick. They needed another inside linebacker to pair up with the newly acquired A.J. Hawk if you watched day one of our NFL Draft. So, yeah, I really did like this pickup. I mean, it pairs up with A.J. Hawk. They need new inside linebackers that can hopefully play their scheme. So, I like this pick right here.
Yeah, as why a pretty good pick here by the Denver Broncos. If you're wondering, I mean, they're going to trade down and not take C.J. Mosley, then why, again, take inside linebacker and Chris Borland? Might as well sat there at 31st overall pick and take C.J. Mosley. But I guess they wanted A.J. Hawk, and now they have Chris Borland as well. I don't know what is going to happen with Danny Trevathan. Wesley Woodyard left in free agency, so inside linebacker is somewhat of a need. But I'm left a little confused, to be a little honest, unless they plan to move A.J. Hawk to outside linebacker or Chris Borland to outside linebacker. Not quite sure what's going on with the Denver Broncos. Not quite sure if I like it. But something's definitely going on here with the Denver Broncos. And here comes the commissioner to announce the 54th overall pick.
With the 54th overall pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the San Diego Chargers select Calvin Benjamin, wide receiver, Florida State.
Now, if I'm not mistaken,
it's about time.
This was the Philadelphia Eagles picks, and I feel this is the San Diego Chargers, like they did with Monty Taylor last year, James. They saw a player. They liked his player a lot. They said to themselves, like, same with Manti Te'o. How many teams were mocking Manti Te'o to the Chargers? How many teams said the Chargers were clearly interested in Manti Te'o? Not a lot of teams were interested in Manti Te'o, especially the Chargers. Chargers go, get Kelvin Benjamin, and add another piece to that offense and wide receiver. And I feel what Kelvin Benjamin adds for the Chargers is that big red zone threat that Antonio Gates is no longer. I mean, I think Keenan Allen's terrific, but when it comes down to a red zone threat, Who else would you throw to than the 6'5" beast in Kelvin Benjamin?
Yeah, and true that, and I like this pick as well for the San Diego Chargers, offsetting Keenan Allen, who is a shorter wide receiver. Let's get a big wide receiver now, and Kelvin Benjamin. Good offset, good balance, young wide receivers for Phillip Rivers to use. There will be no shortage of passes for Kelvin Benjamin to catch in this upcoming season. So good pick here, most definitely for the San Diego Chargers, continuing to build pieces along this offensive front for the San Diego Chargers. Really like what Mike McCoy is doing with this team.
And Tommy Telesco.
And here comes the commissioner with the 55th overall pick.
With the 55th overall pick, the Cincinnati Bengals select Keith McGill, cornerback, Utah.
Oh, I like this pick. Keith McGill, cornerback. You know, hey, let's face it, Bengals need some cornerback help. Definitely some cornerback depth. I feel McGill can actually add that to the Cincinnati Bengals. So I like this move. Not a big hatred of this move, but I do like it nonetheless.
I like this pick by the Cincinnati Bengals. Okay, you address your defensive line in the first round with Coney Ely, defensive end out of Missouri. And now you get your corner Keith McGill out of Utah. Not a big fan out of McGill. I'm not a big fan of this range where he went. But it's the range they went. You know, maybe they couldn't have traded back and they got their corner. Definitely need corners. You can no longer rely on Terrence Newman to be your number one and rely on Adam Pac-Man Jones to back him up and Leon Hall. I mean, that's enough of that. Get some more good corners in there. They definitely did that here. And here comes the commissioner with the 56th overall pick.
With the 56th overall pick, the San Francisco 49ers select Jordan Matthews, wide receiver, Vanderbilt.
Hey, look, the 49ers need more wide receiver help. Jordan Matthews is that young stud, similar to Michael Crabtree, and one of my personal favorites. I hope he succeeds in the NFL. I'm looking forward to see what he does in San Francisco. And just like I said about Kyle Fuller in day one, he's a guy that I picture to be in red and gold by the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And I like Jordan Matthews. I mean, a lot of people say, oh, well, the speed, you're not sure if the speed's there. Can you trust his speed? Well, he can run on the combine. He ran a 4.46 40. So there goes the speed concerns. You already know he produced at the SEC level, breaking all kinds of records. All-time receiving leader in the SEC history, Jordan Matthews, and he did this with Austin Carter-Samuels and Jordan Rodgers throwing him the football. So let's throw out all that other junk. He produced. He continues to produce. He does well in the workouts. He's everything you want him to be, and he's everything the 49ers want him to be. This is why they took him with a 56th overall pick, a pick that will prove to be a value as far as I'm concerned. And here comes the commissioner to announce the 57th overall pick.
With the 57th overall pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select Martavis Bryant, wide receiver, Clemson.
James, we were talking earlier of who's some of my favorites. I forgot to mention Martavis Bryant out of Clemson. You know, he was looked at as Sammy Watkins' number 2 wide receiver, and I think he's a phenomenal number 2 wide receiver, in my personal opinion. I really like this guy, and I'm surprised he didn't go a little bit higher in this first round. But hey, you know what? I really like this pickup by the Philadelphia Eagles. He seems to fit the Chip Kelly system.
Yeah, and also a bigger type guy. He likes his big wide receivers, and he gets it here. 6'4", 211. That's another reason why he wasn't so great on. Sorry about that, but there were some technical difficulties from picks 58 to 69, so that audio ended up getting messed up and is missing, but I will be here to recap what went down with those picks. So, as aforementioned, the Philadelphia Eagles took Martavis Bryant, wide receiver Clemson, with the 57th pick. Right after that, the New Orleans Saints took Jeremiah Atauchi, outside linebacker, Georgia Tech. Following that was the Indianapolis Colts taking Marcus Martin, center USC, filling a need at center. After that, the St. Louis Rams at number 60 took Kyle Van Noy out of BYU, expected to take the strong side linebacking position in training camp. After that, 61, the San Francisco 49ers took Weston Richburg, a center out of Colorado State, as a pick that I personally liked because I personally believed that he was the best center in this draft, and yet he went behind Marcus Martin, but that is up for debate. The New England Patriots took Carl Bradford out of Arizona State, outside linebacker, a really Bill Belichick pick, a pick in which this is a very unknown guy, unsure of how he'll fit, but Bill Belichick will end up doing something with him, and that's basically the commentary we gave for that pick. After that, the Denver Broncos took Joel Bitonio, offensive guard, Nevada, a pick that I couldn't believe from the standpoint of I couldn't believe how far Joel Bitonio had fallen, that he had fallen all the way down to 63, and the Denver Broncos could not believe that either, and took Joel Bitonio out of Nevada, add him to the offensive line, and he can move around that offensive line as pieces and needs become more available in that offensive line. After that, the Seattle Seahawks ended the second round by taking Philip Gaines, cornerback out of Rice, a pick that I really wasn't on board for. Felt that there were more needs to be filled on offense than defense. Picking a corner, I think you already have good enough corners at this point. Don't think taking a corner to be your slot corner and Philip Gaines is the best route to go when you still have pertinent needs at offensive tackle and at wide receiver, to me. Even after filling the Cyrus Kouandjio need in the first round, still offensively missing wide receivers, but taking Philip Gaines was a pick that really didn't make sense to me. Moving forward to the Houston Texans, taking Jalen Watkins, cornerback out of Florida, with the first pick in the third round. Pick I also wasn't for. Felt that this was a reach. Don't think Watkins is better than a fourth round talent, and yet the Texans take him with the top of the third round. Not a pick I was on board with. Washington Redskins at 66 take Cameron Fleming. He will fit right into that right tackle position. Tyler Columbus is a below average starter at right tackle. You plug in Cameron Fleming and RG3, stays a little bit more healthy, and you're able to do more things on offense because the Redskins need to be able to rely on their offense this season, and taking Cameron Fleming out of Stanford allows them to do that. 67, the Oakland Raiders took Dominique Easley. Yes, the Raiders added pieces such as Antonio Smith to their defense, but that doesn't mean that you can't stop adding pieces in the draft, which is where it's really going to matter, because Antonio Smith, as well as other free agent additions, only coming in on 1, 2, maybe 3-year deals. Dominic Easley is a guy who will at least be on your team for 4 years and will probably give you a pretty damn good 4 years. Falling all the way down to the third round, I think this is a great pick, great value here for the Oakland Raiders here at 67. 68, the Falcons took Billy Turner, a very surprising and shocking move to me. Just a very unthought out, misthought out pick here by the Atlanta Falcons. Already took Greg Robinson in the first round. Sure, do you maybe need another tackle, maybe down the road, but I'm going to give Sam Baker another chance. They felt not. They drafted Billy Turner, pick I really wasn't on board with. Maybe I would understand it more if it was worth some sort of value, but I also don't even think the value was here. But the Falcons felt so and took Billy Turner with this 68th pick, a pick I really didn't understand. And things got even more downhill, in my opinion, as 69, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers took Aaron Murray, quarterback out of Georgia. Pick that really shocked me and really didn't make any sense to me. We were discussing throughout the draft of how the Buccaneers were foregoing drafting a quarterback and were drafting other needs, but they finally decided to draft a quarterback, and it was a quarterback with no value, a complete and utter reach here by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, taking Aaron Murray, who could become a starting quarterback, yes, but is he worth the 69th overall pick in the draft? Absolutely not. But the Tampa Bay Buccaneers continue to make very questionable moves in this draft after getting Odell Beckham Jr. in the first round and supplementing him, I should say, with Jason Morrow in the second round. Focusing on that offense, I mean, very unlovey Smith-like the Buccaneers were during this draft. And with that said, we get back to the draft simulation and enjoy the rest of your time.
Now here comes the commissioner to announce the 70th overall pick.
With the 70th overall pick The Jacksonville Jaguars select Taj Boyd, quarterback,
Oh,
Clemson.
what? James, can you believe this? The Jaguars double dipped on quarterbacks.
And this is why they're the Jacksonville Jaguars, and they've been a joke for quite some time, and the joke continues. You already took Jimmy Garoppolo in the second round. Now you take a sixth-round prospect by the name of Todd Boyd. You take him in the third round. It's unbelievable to me. They're top of the third round too. It's unbelievable to me. I can't believe it. I can't get behind it, and it's something I don't quite understand at all here by the Tampa Bay, or by the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I mean, I like Todd Boyd, but really, I mean, there's other players you could have taken at this moment.
Yeah, now it doesn't really make much sense to me, and yet here we are, Taj Boyd shaking hands with David Caldwell and Khalid Khan, or whatever his name is. Unbelievable. And here comes the commissioner to announce the 71st pick, hopefully not as crazy as that last one.
With the 71st pick, the Cleveland Browns select Antonio Richardson, tackle, offensive tackle, Tennessee.
Oh, well, this is a nice pickup for them. I don't know how much he's going to like being played as a right tackle because he views himself as a left tackle in the NFL, rightfully so. But I like this pickup for the Cleveland Browns. Definitely their best pick so far in this draft.
Yeah, good pick here for the Cleveland Browns. Funny that you say their best pick so far in the draft. Interesting how things have gone so far for Cleveland. Continue to build pieces on this offense. Got your boy Zach Mettenberger at quarterback. You drafted Mike Evans. Now you have a tackle. You hit all three parts of your offense. Now you got to hit running back. Don't forget running back there for Cleveland. They're a team that needs to look for running back. I understand they got Ben Tate in free agency, but you just can't depend on Ben Tate to be your stable running back. So it'll be interesting to see where things go from there. Now we turn it over to the commissioner for the 72nd pick, Minnesota Vikings.
With the 72nd overall pick, the Minnesota Vikings select Marcus Smith, defensive end, Louisville.
The Minnesota Vikings keep finding the talent that they need. I like this. Like I said earlier about Ryan Shazier, this guy is a guy who likes to get after the quarterback. They lost Jared Allen. They double dip on two pass rushers that can help them get to the quarterback. I like this pickup a lot for the Minnesota Vikings. They are looking to stop the quarterback in Matthew Stafford, Jay Cutler, and Aaron Rodgers in the NFC North.
And this is what Mike Zimmer is bringing to this Minnesota Vikings team, and I love it. I absolutely love it. Again, got your boy Blake Bortles in the first round. Okay, now let's worry about defense, and that's exactly what he's doing because, hello, your defense was terrible last year in Minnesota. Got Ryan Shazier in the second round, and now you add in Marcus Smith, defensive end at Louisville, one of the best players on the board at this juncture in this draft. Great need filled here by the Minnesota Vikings. Rick Spielman continuing to earn the money he's getting each and every year this draft, building and building and building and building. Let's see if they got their franchise quarterback, though, because that's the most important piece. That's the most important building block when building your team. This is it. Building this part of this team. And that's what they're doing now. And now let's move on to the commissioner to announce the 73rd overall pick.
With the 73rd overall pick, the Buffalo Bills select Bishop Sankey, running back, Washington.
Oh, nice little pickup for the Buffalo Bills. I mean, C.J. Spiller did not have a great year last year. Not the year a lot of Buffalo fans were hoping for. Fred Jackson came on and off, but they are a team that likes to run running back by committee. Bishop Sankey is someone that can catch the football, and that's something that obviously Doug Maroney, what was his name again? I forgot his name. The Bills had
Doug Marrone.
Yeah, Doug Marrone. He likes that in a running back. I like Bishop Sankey. I like this move. I'm not in love with it because they probably could have gotten Bishop Sankey in the fourth round, in all honesty here, but I do like it.
I mean, I'm not a big fan of it, though. I just contradict what I just said. But as I think about it, C.J. Spiller, Fred Jackson there, I'm still a cute C.J. Spiller fan. I'm saying, hey, let's give C.J. Spiller time. Let's let him grow. And no, instead they elect to go with Bishop Sankey, add in yet another running back to this offensive group that they have here in Washington. And in Buffalo, excuse me, and it's fine. I wouldn't have gone here very high on the board, one of the best players on the board, so got a good value. But is he going to be used on this team frequently? No. I'm not quite sure about that. But we turn over to the commissioner to announce the 74th overall pick.
With the 74th overall pick, the New York Football Giants select Jack Mewhort, offensive tackle, Ohio State.
Jack Mewhort, offensive tackle. Well, once again, the New York Giants filling up the needs for their offensive line. Like you said, Justin Pugh was their best one. Definitely, Zach Mewhorn was the best option at offensive tackle at this position in the draft, and they're trying their best to keep Eli Manning up straight and not throw interceptions.
Yeah, absolutely, and Jack Mewhort will definitely help in that category out of Ohio State. A lot of people hate on Jack Mewhort, but I just say, hey, find one game where he gets completely dominated. Yeah, sure, he makes a mistake here, mistake there. Whenever he gets completely dominated. And that's something that I like to see. Just don't get dominated. You can struggle from time here, time there, but don't absolutely get dominated. He's a guy who doesn't get dominated, plays well consistently at Ohio State, where they need that type of play and production, and he provides a lot of that there. We now move on. We keep moving on like a train. With the next pick, the 75th overall pick held by the St. Louis Rams.
With the 75th overall pick, the St. Louis Rams select Terrence Brooks, safety, Florida.
I like this pick of Terrence Brooks. The Rams need another safety to pair along with their young safeties that they have now. And in all honesty, I like this move of Terrence Brooks. Terrence Brooks is a nice little safety. It's someone that can come in rotation for the Rams. I really do like this pick. He's definitely someone that can, hopefully for the Rams in the near future, form into a very good number 2 safety, maybe a very good free safety for them down the line.
Yeah, safety definitely a need. You have T.J. McDonald and other clowns back there. No, you get yourself a good safety back there. Terrence Brooks, safety for a BCS championship winning team in Florida State. And, a very good pick here. Rams needed that. Continue to build around the Sam Bradford. Not electing to go quarterback here. And that's surprising. I thought sooner or later the Rams would go quarterback. No. Here we are, round 3. Still no quarterback for the St. Louis Rams. So that's very surprising to me. But I guess that's the way they felt as if they had to go. That's the way they are going. And overall, good pick here by the St. Louis Rams. We now move on to the 76th overall pick, held by the Detroit Lions.
The 76th overall pick, the Detroit Lions select Marcus Robertson, cornerback, Florida.
Another Gator off the board, and what a Gator he is. Marcus Robertson is a nice little pickup for the Detroit Lions. So a team that needs to boost up their secondary, as we talked about in round 1. Why didn't they take a Justin Gilbert? And I said it. They already have cornerbacks that they drafted. Why try to ruin those guys' confidence? This class is deep with corners in this whole draft. They can get someone very quality in this round, and look at that. Marcus Robertson, very quality pickup for the Detroit Lions in the 3rd round.
Yeah, absolutely. Great pick here by the Detroit Lions. Needed a corner, got a corner. I don't think you can keep relying on Chris Houston saying, this year he'll figure it out. He'll turn the corner this year. He'll start playing well this year. And everything will be okay starting this year. I don't think you can do it. I don't think you can rely on him to do that. No. Let's get Marcus Robinson out of Florida. Let's have him compete with Bill Bentley and Chris Houston and Darius Slay. Let's have them compete, create a good cornerback competition, and let the best men win. Let the best three go out there and play. And that's what they need to employ. That's what they are employing, and a good job employing by the Detroit Lions. I mean, keep moving on. Now the 77th overall pick held by San Francisco.
With the 76th overall pick, the San Francisco 49ers select Chris Smith, outside linebacker, Arkansas.
Good pass rushing prospect here is Craig Smith out of Arkansas. Fits a 3-4 scheme the 49ers want to run. Aldon Smith has been getting in a lot of trouble this offseason. Can you trust him? The 49ers say no. Let's get another outside pass rushing linebacker that we can trust, and they do it here. Good guy to get here, Chris Smith, outside linebacker out of Arkansas. Chase, any thoughts on him?
I like this Chris Smith. I really do. I really think that is a nice little pickup for them. They have the Justin Smith, the Aldon Smith, and now the Chris Smith, the Smith trio, to hunt down quarterbacks.
Yeah, good pick. We're going to keep on moving with the 78th overall pick.
With the 78th overall pick, the Dallas Cowboys select Craig Loston, safety, LSU.
Oh, there's the Jerry Jones I know and love, Craig Loston. Not the best pickup, but hey, if it's a need for the Cowboys, they need some secondary help, so maybe he'll turn into something.
Yeah, here's Jerry Jones. There you are, Jerry. We missed you. He doesn't feel a need, yes. It feels a need. Is it of value? No. Not of any value whatsoever. Could have waited till round 4 to get Craig Loston, but they decided no. We want to fill the need. We're focused on filling needs, and they fill a need. Yeah, sure. A need is filled here, and it's a need that they definitely needed to fill, but I think this is a 4th round prospect, maybe even a 5th round prospect. They've gotten in the 3rd round. Way too early. I like Brock Vereen. I like Desmond Southward. I like Trey Boston over this guy. But hey, they wanted to fill a need. They fill that need. Moving on with the 79th overall pick.
With the 79th overall pick, the Baltimore Ravens select Austin Safarian-Jenkins, tight end, Washington.
Yeah, there's Austin Safarian-Jenkins. Hey, Baltimore needs a new tight end. I mean, Owen Daniels, he signed a contract there, but how reliable is he? Dallas Clark didn't really do anything for their team last year. Dennis Pita and Austin Safarian-Jenkins and Ed Dixon, right, James? Is that the other tight end's name, Ed Dixon? Ed Dixon with those.
Whom I'm not sure is
not
there anymore.
We're not sure? Okay, I'm not 100% sure where Ed Dixon's at, but
Actually, no, yeah, he's not there. They signed Owen Daniels.
Okay, so when you have Owen Daniels, a Dennis Pitta, and Austin Safarian-Jenkins, that's a 3 tight end situation that could cause some havoc in this league. So I like it.
Yep, as do I. A pretty damn good pick here by the Baltimore Ravens. Continue to give Joe Flacco some weapons along that offense. Worry about offense first, defense later. Not really sure about that. Maybe they should have taken a safety here. No. They decided to go best player available, I think, with Austin Safarian-Jenkins. And I'm sure they're going to love that pick down the road. Good pick for them. And I don't think they're complaining up there in the Ravens draft room. We're going to keep on chucking. We're going to keep on moving with the 80th overall pick.
The 80th overall pick, the New York Jets select Stanley Jean-Baptiste, cornerback, Nebraska.
And this is the flavor of the month, okay? Everyone loves these big, tall corners, and that's exactly what Mr. Jean-Baptiste, okay? Again, he has the good size, good mold, and measurables that you look for. 6'3", 220. But can he move his hips? Can he move those hips fluently? Because there's a reason why there are no 6'5" corners, because they can't move their hips. They can't be fluent in their movements. Can he do that at the next level when he's covering a Julio Jones, when he's covering an A.J. Green, when he's covering a Brandon Marshall, guys who are much smarter than he? Can he do that? I'm not sure. I think it's going to take him time.
Yeah,
and it's a good thing he waited to the 3rd round.
Stanley Jean-Baptiste is definitely one of those guys you call a project. Like, he has great size. He seems like he'll be intangible enough in the near future to be one of those threatening new hybrid players that everyone will start drafting, like 6'3" corners. He seems like a Rex Ryan type of guy. And I feel the Jets here, I've been critical with them about not taking a corner a little bit earlier in the second round, but now I like this pickup right here because I think Rex Ryan, being the coach that he is, especially defensively, can get a lot out of Stanley John Baptiste from Nebraska.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, and we're going to keep on moving with the 81st overall pick.
With the 81st overall pick, the Miami Dolphins select Dion Bailey, safety, Southern California.
Dion Bailey, safety. I like this pick for the Dolphins. It's not a pick that I love, but they needed something in that secondary, and definitely a playmaker in the middle and someone that can help them in the coverage system. Dion Bailey kind of fits that. He's an SC type of guy. You know how USC is when it comes down to their defensive players. They like the fast, explosive players. Dion Bailey, if he can transition well in the NFL, I think he's a force to be reckoned with and could be a big-time player for the Miami Dolphins in a couple years, of course. Not right off the bat.
Yeah, it's going to take a while. They needed a safety. I've been missing a big play safety for quite some time. Got one here, and you have to like that. You have to like their ability to find guys right now, this late in the draft, that they're going to need, that's going to fill a need for them. Like I said, a couple picks back, Cowboys took a guy named Craig Lawson. Sure, he's more of that strong safety type, but I'm sure that Dion Bailey can be converted to play strong safety himself. Dolphins need a big draft because right now their team is lacking motivation, lacking leadership, lacking good play, and he can bring some of that. So we're going to keep on trucking, keep on moving. 82nd overall pick now. Here come the Chicago Bears.
82nd overall pick, the Chicago Bears select George Uko, defensive tackle, Southern California.
My God, George Uko, as the commissioner yelled himself. And I like this pick, a big defensive tackle stud out of Southern California himself. We just talked about Dion Bailey. Here comes George Uko, USC, Southern California. Big, penetrating defensive tackle will fit right perfectly in that Chicago Bears defensive scheme. Penetrating, getting to the quarterback, getting down the running back, swelling up all the guys coming towards him. And that's what you want in a defensive tackle, and that's what he brings.
I agree. I really felt that they did a good job here drafting Uko. A lot of people are saying maybe the Bears need to go for a cornerback here just because of who they have at the cornerback position. But in all honesty here, I feel that the cornerback situation can be addressed at a later time in the draft. And I feel it's good that they got a defensive tackle because having Henry Melton leave for pretty much for free, you need to make sure you replace Henry Melton with someone.
Yep, and replace them, they most definitely do. So we keep on moving. 83rd pick now. Here come the Cleveland Browns with their pick.
The 83rd pick, the Cleveland Browns select Jeremy Hill, running back, LSU.
Browns, like I said before, need a running back. I'm not sold on Ben Tate being their stable franchise running back that you can trust week in, week out. And I mean, last year it was so bad for the Cleveland Browns. They had to sign Willis McGahee. Willis McGahee was starting games. Chris Ogbenaya was starting games. Fozzie Whitaker was getting carries. It was awful. So let's get some viable running backs in here. And that is what they do here with this pick right here. I like this pick. Like Jeremy Hill a lot. I think he was the third best running back in this class, and he's the fourth one taken. So not bad here by the Cleveland Browns taking Jeremy Hill.
And Jeremy Hill is one of those dangerous players on third down. Jeremy Hill is one of those players you watch. Doesn't matter if it's 3rd and 10, 3rd or 13, 3rd or 14. If he gets the ball, he is determined to take it to the first down and more. I like this pickup of Jeremy Hill here for the Cleveland Browns. Definitely a good running back for third down situations to replace Ben Tate.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to keep on moving now with the 84th overall pick.
With the 84th overall pick, the Arizona Cardinals select Brock Vereen, safety, Minnesota.
Another Minnesota defensive talent taking out the board. Minnesota had a good year defensively. But Brock Vereen, I don't know. I think this is a little bit of a reach here for the Arizona Cardinals. I don't really think they really need to address their secondary. I know Tyrann Mathieu with the injury is kind of scary, but I really like their team defensively, and I don't really think that you need to address, the secondary with this pick right here. I felt they could have done a little bit more, but it's an okay pick for what they did.
Yeah, okay pick. Brock Vereen. Looking for safety. I mean, Tyrann Mathieu played well back there, free safety in corner, playing back and forth. Brock Vereen can come in now, someone else in that defensive backfield. Would have liked to see them go outside linebacker. I still feel that they need one of those after taking Juwan James in the second round and then taking none other than Derek Carr in the first round. I feel like they need linebackers. They're not taking any of those right now. So that kind of surprises me, but it's what it is, and we keep on moving. Time for the 85th overall pick. Here comes the commissioner to give us that.
With the 85th overall pick, the Green Bay Packers select Troy Nicholas, tight end, Notre Dame.
There he is, and it's about time. Troy Nicholas, who I had a second round grade on, falls all the way down to number 85. Here, Green Bay is doing backflips. They let go Jermichael Finley. But here is Troy Nicholas sitting here just saying, hey, anyone want to take me? Hey, you guys want to take me? Oh, Aaron Rodgers wants to throw the ball to me? Okay, sure, why not? I didn't really want to. Oh, actually, no, I did want to. Great pick here by Green Bay.
Yeah, especially because, with Notre Dame, how they've been producing Tyler Eifert and Kyle Rudolph as of late. They're a little hotbed right now for tight ends, and this is a really good pickup for the Green Bay Packers. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to enjoy this new weapon a lot on his team.
Yep, so do I. We're going to keep on moving on. 86th overall pick. Here come the Philadelphia Eagles.
86th overall pick. The Philadelphia Eagles select Shane Scobb, linebacker, Stanford.
Well, and this is good. They got D'Amico Ryans last offseason in a trade, and they said, hey, even though he sucked in the 3-4, he's going to be good in the 3-4 for us. Well, that makes no sense, and guess what? He didn't play well. And now you got yourself a good 3-4 inside linebacker in Shane Scobb who can come in, play well, inside linebacker. For the Philadelphia Eagles, they're looking for that run stopper. He brings that to your team, and that's what you like to have. What do you think about this pick?
I like this pick a lot. Like you said, Nico Ryans is not a 3-4 inside linebacker, and now you bring in Shane Scobb, came from Stanford, tough defensive team, and great 3-4 team, and now you're going to implement him into this system. I think it's a really good move by the Philadelphia Eagles.
And here comes the commissioner to announce the next pick.
With the 87th pick, the Kansas City Chiefs select Cyril Richardson, guard.
This is good for the Chiefs. I talked about, they didn't have a guard, and now they picked up a guard here in Cyril Richardson. We were talking about the Chiefs wanting to trade up. I think the Chiefs were trying to trade up to get Cyril Richardson, and are surprised that Richardson is still in this position, and they were able to pick him up.
Yeah, and what a surprise it is. They want to keep building their offensive line. Their offensive line play wasn't that great last year, and they want to keep building it, and build it they will. Cyril Richardson, offensive guard out of Baylor, who I like, some injury concerns. Bring him down the board, but still a good prospect, very good prospect. They got Jason Verrett, cornerback out of TCU. Now get Cyril Richardson, not getting the flashy positions, but getting the good positions. Keep building your team from the ground up, player by player, and that's what Andy Reid wants to do. That's what he's doing in Kansas City. We're going to keep on moving. Here comes the 88th overall pick.
The 88th overall pick. The Cincinnati Bengals select Will Sutton, defensive tackle, Arizona State.
I like this one. Will Sutton, defensive tackle out of Arizona State. At first, a lot of people were projecting this guy maybe to be a second-round pick. I personally like this guy. A lot of people said that he is a favorite to possibly maybe win the Outland Trophy, Best Defensive Player of the Year trophy. Will Sutton, to me, very solid pickup. I think he's going to do well in the pros, especially with the Bengals and what they want to run, and especially with Geno Atkins. he's the best defensive tackle in the league, Geno Atkins, but we don't know how long and how effective that injury probably is going to be on him. So with Will Sutton here, it's just a nice little safety plan for them.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Good defensive tackle there. Keep building their defensive line. I mean, it's a little bit questionable. As far as I'm concerned, you have Geno Atkins there. He's coming off the torn ACL or Achilles or something like that. But they want to keep building the defensive line because they don't want to spend a dime on free agents. They never want to spend a dime on free agents. They never will spend dimes on free agents. But hey, this is what they want to do. This is what they're going to continue to do. And Cincinnati builds through the draft, and they're getting that opportunity, getting a good player, Will Sutton. They know how to take guys when they fall, and guys are falling to them, and they're taking them. Good for them. Start spending money on free agents. And here comes the commissioner with the 89th overall pick.
The 89th overall pick. The San Diego Chargers select Rashad Reynolds, cornerback, Oregon.
Now we see the Chargers attacking their secondary. The secondary for the Chargers last year is pathetic. But now they're actually attacking the secondary, picking up Rashad Reynolds. Hopefully that there's still a lot of corners left in this draft. Like I said, huge depth when it comes to corners. So San Diego has to be hopeful that they get another corner in the next round. I think that would be their main goal and objective. Wouldn't you double up on corners?
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense because in this draft, there are some good corners here, and you need to take one of these in the third round. So a lot of good corners here. Rashad Reynolds, I'm not very high on. I think this is a little early for him, but I guess they felt that this is their guy and he fits their scheme and he fits what they want to do defensively. So hey, that's what they wanted to do. That's what they have done. We're going to keep moving. With the 90th overall pick, here come the Indianapolis Colts.
With the 90th pick, the Indianapolis Colts select Devin Lawson, cornerback, Utah State.
I like this. Devin Lawson. Like I said, the Colts need to build up on their cornerback depth, and hey, they're doing so right here, right now with Devin Lawson. I really do like this pickup for the Indianapolis Colts. Is he the best corner available? No. But did he fill a need and help out with the depth? Yes, he does.
Yeah, absolutely. Filling with the depth. Greg Toller, to me, is not a number 2 corner. They need to move on from that, and that's what they're going to do. Oh, keep moving. 91st overall pick now. Here come the Saints.
With the 91st pick, the New Orleans Saints select Paul Richardson, wide receiver, Colorado.
Wow. So again, though, I'm surprised Devontae Adams and Dante Moncrief on the board, and now the Saints electing to pick Paul Richardson, wide receiver out of Colorado, above both of those two. I like Paul Richardson, third round, late third round. I think that's a good range for him. 6 foot, 195 though. He needs to get that weight up, without a doubt, absolutely. But if he can do that,
this as they're saying,
hello.
Yeah, I think the Saints though they were looking at. Yes,
hello.
I can hear you.
Oh, you can't hear me.
I think the Saints though were looking at this pick and saying, you know what, Devontae Adams and the other kid that you were mentioning from Indiana, whatever his name was again, him, good talents. But this guy right here, he can mesh well with Marquise Colston. So I think that's what the Saints were looking at with this pick.
Yeah, makes sense. But I still feel as if Richardson will be a good fit too. I mean, the fit is always a big thing. But I think, hey, when you see Devontae, and we're gonna keep on. Wait. We're going to keep on moving with the 92nd overall pick. Here comes the commissioner to announce that very thing.
With the 92nd overall pick, the St. Louis Rams select Tom Savage.
So this whole draft, James, we've been talking about how they're doing a good job building around Sam Bradford, but here comes Mr. Tom Savage.
Indeed. And Tom Savage is a guy I'm not very fond of. I mean, he's a guy, I look at him, I think, yeah, he didn't play well behind his offensive line. That was terrible, yes, okay. He didn't play well, he had a bad offensive line, but let's not use that as an excuse. Let's not say, hey, Oh, he had a bad offensive line, so let's throw out everything else out the window because this is what matters and nothing else matters. Okay, no, let's not say that. Let's not do that. But ultimately, though, I like how he won't have to start immediately. Sam Bradford will start this year. And that's good. Have Sam Bradford start this year, have Tom Savage waiting in the wings to come up and then start possibly in the future. Like this a lot, actually, by the St. Louis Rams because Tom Savage doesn't have to start immediately. If he starts immediately, he will have troubles at the next level. Here comes the commissioner to announce the 93rd overall pick.
With the 93rd overall pick, the New England Patriots select C.J. Fredrickson, tight end, Iowa.
And once again, the Patriot way keeps on going, James. Another head scratcher with C.J. Fredrickson. I like the kid. I mean, he's supposed to replace Aaron Hernandez, so we'll see if it works out for them.
Yeah. Kind of interesting pick here by the Patriots. C.J. Fedorowicz, tight end, Iowa. I mean, I like him. Third round, that's not really my cup of tea for him. I don't think that's a good range for him personally. I would like to see him gone probably in the fourth round, probably even later than that. I would have said, hey, maybe let's not go tight end here, but they wanted to go with him, and then go with him. They did. If you really wanted a tight end, trade up, get Troy Nicholas, who was falling, get Austin Safari and Jenkins, who was falling. They wanted to go C.J. Fedorowicz, but hey, when you have Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, they'll make you look greater than you can. So, so they do that here. Good job. I mean, it's a good pick. He'll end up producing more than he would, let's say, if he goes to Cleveland. So overall, though, it's a decent grade here for the New England Patriots. Now let's see what happens as the commissioner comes back to announce the 93rd pick or 94th pick.
There has been a trade.
Oh.
The San Francisco 49ers have traded away their pick for the Tennessee Titans' 4th, 5th, and 6th rounders. So the Titans have selected Davante Adams, wide receiver, Fresno State.
I like this pick. You lose Kenny Britt in the offseason. Kendall Wright, phenomenal talent. Well, along with Justin Hunter, a good product. And now you get a Davante Adams, someone that they're looking to come in and become a three-headed receiving monster for Tennessee. I really like this pick up by the Tennessee Titans right here.
Yeah, as do I. As I've been saying, Davante Adams falling. I had a second-round grade on him. Someone take this guy, and then here come the Tennessee Titans. They watched him in the last year of his career. He's going to be gone now. Then after that, you have no one. You have absolutely no one. Let's take Davante Adams. He doesn't have to start right now. Doesn't have to do anything right now. But when Nate Watson leaves, then boom, you can come in as our number 3 option. No pressure. This is a good situation. Continue to build around Teddy Bridgewater or Jay Clark. Whoever wins that can't battle because we still have to see who will win that. That will be interesting. We're going to keep on moving for the 95th overall pick now.
With the 94th overall pick, 95th overall pick, the Denver Broncos select Walt Aikens, cornerback, Liberty.
And you know what? I don't mind this pick too much because the Denver Broncos, they already have their pretty much 3 starting corners that they're going to use. Walt Aikens is just there for depth issues. And I feel that he's the type of guy that fits the Denver Broncos of what they want to do on defense and someone that can actually come in if injuries happen for their team. So I don't mind this pick.
Yeah, neither do I. I mean, they got Aqib Talib, and all of a sudden Aqib Talib may just fall off the side of the planet. In fact, I expect him to at this point. He's been, this is about the time where he does that sort of thing, so they paid him a lot of money. But let's back him up, though. Let's hedge our bets. Get Walt Aikens, cornerback Liberty, who I like as a cornerback. A lot of cornerbacks going in the 3rd round. I might add a lot of cornerbacks, but hey, good pick. We're going to keep it moving. Here comes the commissioner with a 96th overall pick.
With the 96th overall pick, the Minnesota Vikings select Trey Turner, guard, LSU.
Oh, wow. Vikings needed a guard, got a guard here. No complaints here. What about you?
No complaints whatsoever. The Minnesota Vikings having a really good underrated draft here today.
Yeah, and that's also slightly surprising to me. I mean, from the standpoint of usually they're more aggressive, now they're staying back.
Yeah.
And they're getting the guys that they want to get. Good strategy, effective strategy, I might add also, by this team so far. Wow. Wow, indeed. Very impressed by the Minnesota Vikings so far. And we're going to keep it moving. 97th overall pick now. Pittsburgh Steelers, here they come.
Pick. The Pittsburgh Steelers select Jarvis Landry, wide receiver, LSU.
Wow. Another wide receiver off the board now. Surprised he went above Dante Moncrief out of Ole Miss, but hey, I guess they felt Jarvis Landry went here, and I like where Landry went. 3rd round. I don't think he's better than a 3rd round prospect. Obviously, neither did they, and that's good. And that's a good decision, overall decision there by the Pittsburgh Steelers. No complaints. He's going to fit the Pittsburgh Steelers quite well. Good pick, absolutely.
Yes, I agree. They needed to get some offensive talent in this draft, and they got it.
Yep, absolutely. We're going to keep it moving now with the Green Bay Packers. This is a compensatory pick. I repeat, this is a compensatory pick.
With the 98th overall pick, the Green Bay Packers select Dante Moncrief, wide receiver, Ole Miss.
Well, there he is, Ole Miss. The commissioner mispronounced there, but it's okay. It's a very long draft. Dante Moncrief, like I said, I think this is a 2nd round prospect. And yet here he is falling all the way down to the bottom of the 3rd round. Can fit in well with the Green Bay Packers, who lost James Jones in free agency. Now, is that a big loss? No. But also, don't forget, you had a wide receiver get injured last year. His name is escaping me. Chase, help me out. This has been a long draft.
Wait, which name are we trying to...
Randall Cobb getting hurt last year. Can Jared Boyd can be a good 3rd wide receiver? Yeah. Will Dante Moncrief be a better one? Yeah. So take Dante Moncrief and be happy, and happy they will most certainly be. Any thoughts?
No, I totally agree. Everything you said, you took the words right out of my mouth. Right out of my mouth. Right there. Yeah, you can tell it's a long draft.
It's been a long draft. We move on to the next pick, 99th overall pick. Baltimore Ravens on the clock.
The Baltimore Ravens select Charles Sims, running back, West Virginia.
Wow. Slightly surprising. With Ray Rice and his troubles in the offseason, I knew running back was going to be a slight concern, and they take Charles Smith as a good dual threat, I'm trying to say. Dual threat at running back. He can hit you in the passing game, hit you in the running game. Obviously, hopefully, he's a running back. Wow, very good pick. Interesting pick. Like the pick.
Yeah, no, me too. Charles Sims is someone that I felt that a lot of other teams could have taken in the 4th round, but, Baltimore taking advantage of this, worried about the Ray Rice situation, really likes this pick right here.
Yep, as do I. And the 3rd round finally coming to an end as the San Francisco 49ers turn in their card. Here comes the commissioner to announce the final pick of the 3rd round and the final pick.
And final pick of the 3rd round, the San Francisco 49ers select Trent Murphy, linebacker, Stanford.
A guy who played under Jim Harbaugh type of ball. Trent Murphy's going to feel right at home, add more outside linebacker depth to already the scary team, the 49ers. I like this.
Yep, as do I. Again, like I said earlier, Aldon Smith having some troubles with the law and all that stuff going on. So let's hedge our bets. Let's get some pass rushers. They got one with Chris Smith. They say, hey, Trent Murphy, is still on the board. We're taking him. And take him they did. And they're happy with this, I'm sure. And very interesting, easy pick. No-brainer here for the San Francisco 49ers. And thus ends the 2014 mock draft simulation. What a simulation that has been indeed, Chase. Any takeaways, winners, losers of this draft process?
Losers the Cleveland Browns for sure. Winners Green Bay Packers and the Dallas Cowboys for the most part. I felt a lot of teams did well in this draft, but definitely the Green Bay Packers are the ultimate winners in this draft.
Yeah, definitely guys that fell to me that I was slightly surprised about. Bruce Ellington, wide receiver out of South Carolina. I expected him to go in round 3. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case for him. You look at a guy, Trevor Riley, out of Utah. Thought he could have gone there at the last pick at San Francisco, but they decided to go with Trent Murphy instead. Dakota Dozier out of Furman, a guard out of Furman. Thought he could have went there with all those guards were going, but no, they decided to go Trey Turner, guard out of Louisiana. I'm talking about the Vikings did. Over a Dakota Dozier, Will Clark out of West Virginia. Thought he was going to go. Telvin Smith out of Florida State. Kadeem Carey could have went there, but no, the Ravens decided to go with the dual threat Charles Sims. But overall, very interesting draft, and that's why we love the draft. It's always interesting, always fun to watch, always fun to analyze, and that's what we're here to do. That's what we will continue to do. That's what we're here to do. Love doing it. Want to thank Chase Oliver for being my co-host. Want to thank David Randerson of Wake Up It's Football for being here for round 1. Thought he could have been here for round 2 and 3, but he had to go, unfortunately. He wasn't able to join us here on this day, but it's okay. Because me and Chase were able to hold our own throughout this second and third round. Can't wait for the real draft coming up this Thursday. So let's make sure that we have fun with that.
And also thanks to our stupid commissioner, Kuda Charamba.
Yes, thanks also to the commissioner, Kuda Charamba.
You can follow him on YouTube, KC Sports Daily, where he does not update anything daily.
Yes, absolutely. And with that said, again, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening on. We will be back next year to do it. And if you're interested in being a GM, stay with us throughout the next year and we will hook up with ya. Until next time, James Carter TV signing off. Peace.